rigorous academic departments. I'll tout those a little later throughout the presentation. And being that we are a robust community across every discipline here in the College of Business. So you already see here, based upon our badges, that we are most affordable, right? And we have a top online MBA program. So after you finish your undergraduate studies and you want to go to a competitive program, then I recommend you apply to our MBA program. We are one of the best HBCUs in the country. And we're doing so through our leadership here on the campus of Fayetteville State, from our chancellor down to our chief academic officer, and then our deans and any other support staff and faculty we have here on the campus. So the main reason why you're here today is to talk about, what opportunities would look like for you here as a transfer student in the College of Business. So a lot of students often are concerned about, hey, what are the requirements to transfer? If you visit our uncfsu.edu admissions page, you will know that, you should be eligible to transfer if you're eligible to return to your last institution attended, or if you have an cumulative GPA of 2.0 or higher based on the courses attempted at your previous institution. So we do welcome you if you're considering transferring here to the university. And if you move around this wheel of success, the ultimate question is, well, Mr. McCrory, how long will it take for me to graduate? Well, by design, it's 120 credit hours for our transfer students, or our students as a collective, to graduate from the Fayetteville State University. But on average, majority of our transfer students, we are transferring in at least, on average, about 60 credit hours, if not more. So that puts you at the halfway mark of where you're trying to go. Other questions that may arise, hey, I have to work, I'm a single parent, or I work at night, how can I, take classes online during the day? Well, we do offer online programs. Our accounting program, if that's your primary degree of interest, that is online. Also, our general business curriculum is online. So don't let that be a deterrent to say, well, I can't continue my education. We will make any and most accommodations for you to make sure you are maximizing your opportunity to advance your education. A lot of students say, well, how will my transfer hours, how will my credit hours transfer from my current institution? Well, I would tell you this, our curriculum is designed to accept, those transfer credit hours from your host institution. In most cases, if you have not taken the core courses up under the business curriculum, we can cater those courses taken to free electives. And then we will do a fine comb through what you've already have taken at your previous institution to match our core curriculum. Go on our website, make sure you look up the Broadwell College of Business in terms of academic department, and we have variation of curriculum programs that will fit your need as a prospective student. So I guess after giving you this information, which all sounds great, you want to know, who would I best contact and who would I stay in contact with consistently outside of coursework? Well, that is your advisor. Here in the College of Business, we have a host of professional advisors who champion the student success. And the core group of our faculty and staff define several reasons why you, the student, as a member of our organization, will continue to rise because of the support that we provide here in the College of Business. And we have a host of disciplines within these three academic programs. We have our accounting, finance, healthcare, information systems, our marketing management, entrepreneurship, and finance, which all segues to our MBA program if you desire to continue these services. These other questions are pretty much self-explanatory. You want to know will my financial aid transfer? We do have professional staff here that will help address those questions that you have. And I think by looking at this wheel of success, you will be successful here in the Broadwell College of Business. Just want to pause for a moment. Are there any questions or concerns? Am I moving too fast? Is something that you need addressed? Let me know. I'll pause because I want to make sure you get this information.
At this time, we don't have any questions, so you're good to go.
Okay, thank you. So here are a list of new programs that we launched this past fall as it relates to concentrations within these particular departments. We have our risk management and insurance concentration. That seems to be a trend in our industry right now. Disaster management, retail, information system, and business analytics. As you know, everything is wrapped around technology now and having the ability to analyze data. So you're talking about being hired on the spot, come to the table with this type of skill set and you're going to be hired and be gainfully employed. We also have our tier certifications, which is SAP. We have one of the best, well sought after SAP program here at Fayetteville State. We host a boot camp every year, and those are participants from around the globe that come and learn about our SAP. And we have been successful over the past couple of years with students passing, and now they are operating as consultants based upon what FSU offered through the College of Business. So you may want to know, well, how do you guys do this and what is the return on investment for the student? Well, if you look here on this slide here, we are heavily connected with industry. We can't list them all here, but outside of what you see here, we host a variety of corporate days here in the College of Business, and we do that by increasing our employer partnerships and making it visible, making their visibility more than what it needs to be to look at our students, because I believe we are a well-kept secret here in the UNC system. And the students' return on investment is to make sure that you are gaining insight for your future career opportunities. And we connect you with various industries and sectors to maximize internship and post-graduation jobs. So we are fresh in the spring semester, and we've already hosted two partners already with PricewaterhouseCoopers, and we are going to welcome Red Hat later this week. So we hope that you join us to learn about more organizations. We've even had students to receive scholarships from the North Carolina Department of Transportation. We have students to intern at Apple and Facebook. Just recently today, I received some information about IBM and what they're offering through their talent program, Lenovo. We have some graduates that are at Walmart Corporation in some management and decision-making positions. We have a student, when she graduates in this spring, she has a full-time position with Nestle. So we just have a lot of industries that are seeking after our students. And we do that by calling them to the hem and say, well, hey, we have some talent here at Fayetteville State University, and they just so happen to be graduating from the College of Business. Do you have anything for them? In return, they would like to know, what is your curriculum like, how you're setting the students up to ensure they have those knowledge, skills, and abilities, what we call KSAs, needed to sustain with that particular and identified employer. Not only are they walking in with those skill sets that I just mentioned early in the conversation, but also those students are walking in not only with degrees, but certifications in those specialized areas. And we also showcase what our students doing to industry by hosting project-based learning initiatives. So therefore, you see that industry is coupled with what we have here in terms of curriculum, faculty, staff, administrative support, which will equate to career readiness for our graduates when they leave the College of Business. So I just want to take a few moments to let you look at a few testimonials we have here in the College of Business. Time will not permit to play any video at this time, but as you will see some graphics of what our students have done from a photo perspective. So we have here Miss Sierra Dove. She's currently the senior analyst, at Cigna. We have Mr. Rogers Baloo. who is a regional director at USA Today. And all of these students, both of these students here are MBA graduates. And I believe they came through successfully the undergraduate program as well. We have our past Mr. SGA president, Mr. Jared James. See, there's a typo in there, but Mr. Jared James, who is the operation manager with Walmart, Mr. Brian Elliott, who is a assistant vice president of sales with Bank of America, and Miss Adriana Sini. She has a twin sister, and they both are doing well. And she is currently the senior analyst at Dell Technologies. Most recently, we have two students here. One is both are graduates, Dr. Sharon Lewis, who just got her DBA from the University of North Carolina, Charlotte. And then we have Jose Marrero, who's an Army active duty and SAP consultant who came through the SAP program. Most recently, we hosted Emphasis here on the campus, and here's a product of Emphasis, Mr. Desmond Buckmeyer. He recently got hired there. Mr. Perez, who's an operations manager at Food Lion. And then down at the bottom, we have Miss Ariana Edwards, who had an internship both at Toyota and Facebook, and she will be working with Nestle upon graduation. Most recently, we held a conference call with this outstanding graduate here, Ms. Tanika Askew, who is now the CEO of Transformation Technologies, and she has held positions with Deloitte as well as some other prestigious organizations. Look on this slide here, Mr. David Lamb to your top right. He's with the well-known organization TIAA-CREF. Miss Erica Briggs White, who's pursuing an outstanding and very bright future in the healthcare industry. And Mr. Daryl Foster, who's currently at US Bank as a business analyst. So as you can see, we work very, very close with our students to ensure they are ready for success. Most rewarding to one of our students, I think this was an inaugural opportunity for this student here. 2 years ago, she was able to go out and intern through the National Football League at the Super Bowl. So she was very excited and ecstatic about it. She came back and shared so many opportunities that she was offered. And she most recently graduated this past May. And she is with Emphasis, I do believe, working with that organization as well. So as you can see, we are very intentional, very engaged, very forthright in making sure students are successful. There's no doubt about it. And not only in the classroom, this is outside of the classroom as well. So you want to know, you say, well, hey, Mr. McCrory, you have shared that information. We want to know what the salaries are. Well, on average, our students are making around about $55,000 a year once they leave Fayetteville State. And I'm sure the statistics have changed. This is from a 5-year observation from what our students have done to be prepared for industry. So, when you look at who we are and what we're about and how we remain successful, it's all a part of the overall commitment to our students. So again, prospective students, your success is our success. And again, to hear another highlight about, what do we do in our MBA program? If you decide to pursue it, you have an opportunity to be a part of a competitive MBA program. Here's some of the coursework that we offer to streamline that success as well. So I'll stop here. If there are any questions from our participants.
Well, I did not see any questions in, but I did want to take out some time. I actually had some myself. Sometimes as a staff member, you're not aware of how many student success stories there are. So I would love to just thank the department for giving out these opportunities to our students. I did want to talk a little bit about internships. So are there internships that you all provide, or do the students have to go through the Office of Career Services for these opportunities?
Well, it's the best of both worlds. I did mention we host our corporate days here in the College of Business. That's a more of an intimate session that we have with industry partners when they come in and they're kind of walking our students through, okay, what are we looking for in resumes? You know, how to conduct yourself in an interview. And then if this is an organization or company that you wish to pursue, you know, go out and learn about us. So those info sessions that we host, you know, are well-rounded in making sure that our students, you know, meet that industry need. Now, in terms of career services, you know, those doors are always open for our students to go in and try to match with employers prior to graduation, as well as a listing of internships. And we work real close with Dr. Farley's office to ensure that we're mapping our student success.
Gotcha. And I do have one question. I know we have about 5 minutes before we bring on our second group, but I hear you speak a little bit on project-based. Could you break that down a little bit more for some students who may not know exactly what that is?
So that project-based learning is designed for our upper level coursework here in the department, whether it's management or accounting. So Dr. Adebar, Dr. Virtue Adebar, who's our assistant dean, a lot of her coursework is rounded around, is focused around those PBS learning initiatives. So what we do, say for instance, you have a company, an organization. We invite you in as a panelist, and the students will reach out to your organization to kind of figure out where the gaps are as it relates to your data. So students, they go in and analyze that data, and they come back and do a presentation on what can happen to help drive that particular industry forward. So, you know, have a host of about, let's say maybe several panelists, and they're from tier organizations, whether it's the food industry. If you live here in Cumberland County, you may heard of Hot Sugar Pop. That's over there.
Hot Sugar Pop popcorn.
Yes, over there by the mall. That's one of our partners there, and students were able to do a showcase on how to drive sales even higher. So, you know,
Wow.
that
Very
community,
hands-on.
that community is very excited about that. So we have a host of things that we do. And next time we host something, I would like to invite the Office of Admissions to come over and see how we interact with those partners that are locally. And we're looking to branch out to find some outside of Cumberland County as well to help them move their industry forward. We feel like the curriculum that the students are getting should be challenging enough and competitive enough to show our partners and existing business owners what our students have learned, and take your data, assess it, and then move your organization forward.
We would definitely love to do that. We love partnering with our departments, which is why we, again, thank you for taking out the time to be with us this evening to showcase some things going on with our business department. For those of you who just may be tuning in, before you get off, I do want you to share your contact information just in case any students have any questions.
Yes, they can reach me at 910-672-2142. I know it seems like I'm in the dark, but I'm still here. To know how committed I am to my institution, my HBCU, to help make this presentation noteworthy on this evening. So my light is out, so it may look like I'm in the gray, but I'm still here. So I'll give that number again. That's 910-672-2142. And if they want to reach me, I know my email is long. So if you would go to the FSU home website, click on, I think it's colleges and departments. You can click on the Broadwell College of Business. And if you look under the administrative chart there, or even click on the advisement, you should see my information there. You will see RLMCCROW01@uncfsu.edu. I'm very accessible. It's been an exciting long day here on a Monday off of a love weekend.
I know.
Yeah, but it's been a great day.
It's over. Back to the business.
I thank you and the Office of Admissions for this opportunity to present to our prospective students. So we hope to see you in the fall of 2021.
Yes, thank you again. And you have a great rest of your evening. Take care.
Thank you too. Have a great one.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so for those who are tuning in, we are live on Facebook and on YouTube right now. So make sure you all are dropping in the questions. Welcome to 10K week. It's Monday, so we have to kick things off right. If you are unsure of what the 10K program is, I definitely encourage you to check out our guidebook page on our guidebook app. You are able to get a full breakdown of what 10K is. The 10K program in a nutshell, if you have obtained an associate's degree from one of our partnered institutions, you could possibly come in to do one of our online programs with under $10,000. So that is why we are here this week, to share that information with as many transfer students as possible. And I actually have coming up next the Department of Political Science, who is going to share some information with you all. And again, make sure you're dropping your comments. If you're on Facebook, drop your comments there. If you are tuned in here through the guidebook, you can put your questions in the chat box. And if you are on YouTube, you can also put in your questions on YouTube. So we have a few of my colleagues behind the scenes who are helping us out with getting your questions answered. So if I could have my next presenters go ahead and turn on your cameras. And while they are getting ready, like I said, thanks for tuning in today. We have a host of events that are going on throughout the week. So let me just share my screen.
Brooks?
Yes.
It says the host has stopped the video.
Okay, let's see. 1 second. All righty. Are you able to turn on your camera now?
Yes, now I can.
Perfect.
And also the screen sharing. Okay, good.
You have access?
Yes. Okay, let me see.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And while you're
Okay.
that up.
First, yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
yeah.
no, you're fine. You're fine. Thank you for, again, joining us today to work with our prospective students. We really, really do appreciate you taking out the time. I know some people are probably just getting off of work or just getting home. So again, we thank everybody for taking out the time. We will be recording, so these videos will be available even after today. And we will also have these videos on our YouTube channel. And so what I will do is I will let you take over to share your screen and to give us some more information about our political science program.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for inviting the political science to this virtual 10K week.
Not a problem.
With me, I'm Shelfenham Stark, and I'm the coordinator for the political science program. And with me today, we have Dr. Ma, who is our assistant chair in our department. And we have our advisor, Shauna Finster. Okay, we have there. So thank you for them to join me in this meeting. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint slide. Okay, so this is political science program. And what is political science? Basically, it's the study of politics and government that affect nearly every aspect of our life. And a major in political science will help us learn critical thinking skills and teach us how to understand and analyze present-day politics and government with historical context to better understand the world we live in. And at FayState, for the political science major, we have actually 3 concentration. One is a BA in straight political science. Okay, and the second one will be a BA in political science with public administration concentration. The third one is a BA in political science with environmental politics and policy concentration. And
What-
all three is
Sorry to cut you off. I apologize to cut you off. We are unable to see your screen.
You are not? Okay, let me see.
Yes, we can see you perfectly fine, but we're unable to see your screen. Just
Okay,
yet.
how about now? Can you see it now?
There we go. Perfect. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
sorry. Okay. Okay. So now in the political science program, we have three concentration. One is a BA in straight political science. One is a BA in political science with public administration concentration, and then the last one will be the BA in political science with environmental politics and policy concentration. And all three, we have a regular and online degree completion options. Okay, it start in the online degree program starts from this semester. Okay, so you can finish the degree either through the regular route or through the online method. Okay, and we are in the process of come up with the fourth concentration, which is public safety administration concentration. And it's in planning, it's in the process. And Dr. Ma is the one who is in charge of this concentration. And Dr. Ma, would you please say something about this concentration, the public safety administration?
Thank you, Dr. Hamstock. Hello, everybody. Actually, we are political science. Because we are multidiscipline, the subject. So most likely we are welcome to all of the college students. They have the opportunity, even though when you take some courses, it's really close to the public administration. Sometimes, they are leaning towards the safety. Sometimes they are leaning towards the environment policy or public administration. So in this way, we are working with those college and then trying to make some like the concentration to hold the students who are completed many courses, and then trying to get the bachelor degree as soon as possible. So in this way, most of the cases when they take the courses, when they transfer to other university, and then a lot of the credits will not goes to the towards the degree. So in this way, we are working with this public safety administration. We are closely work with the WIC technology tech college. So we are design this concentration to hold those students. So in this way, they can transfer freely of the 15 credit hour to this concentration, and then directly goes towards the degree program. So they will not waste the credits they are taking from their host college. And then in this way, they will save the money, and the 10K program is really help them to get the degree and get the qualified the education. Yes.
Yes, okay. So pretty soon we will have some student from the WEC Tech then. If we have this concentration, then we will have students from WEC Tech for this public safety administration concentration. Okay, this is our program is growing. Originally, we only have a BA in political science, but for the past 20 years, we have already grown to, actually there are 4 concentration, with the regular one as one concentration. So, but anyway, and minor, and we in our program, we have 3 minors. One is minor in political science, and then public administration and policy and sustainability. Okay, and now I'm going to kind of just briefly talk about what is the course program requirements. Basically you need to have 120 credit hours to graduate. And out of these 120 credit hours, there are 2 major groups of courses you need to take. One is the university core curriculum, and this is all the majors at FSU need to have to take this type of courses, like English, like math, social sciences courses, natural science courses. Some major might require new language courses. Okay, so that's what we call a university core curriculums. Okay, and then the second major group of courses will be the political science program courses. And for this program requirement, you have basically, we have political science core courses, 30 credit hours, which is about 10 courses. Okay, and what kind of courses are those? Usually it's like for example, introduction to political science, principles of American government, principle of public administration, ethics and global affairs, introduction to political statistics, and political theories. Okay, so those are core political science courses. And then you have some other political major electives. And then we have social science courses, like you can take it like history, economics, sociology, those social science type of courses. And then the rest of them, they are about 24 credit hours. Those are free electives or minor. If you don't have minor, then basically you have 24 credit hours, free elective, 24 credit hours, and which could be what? A lot of times when you transfer from the community college, sometimes some of the courses it might not fit your major well, but since we have those free elective, so some of those courses could be counted toward those free electives. So you don't lose those courses. Okay, so those are straight political science. And then the next one would be public administration. And the only difference will be the concentration courses here. The concentration courses here, you will be more on courses like a public policy and public administration type. Okay. And then the third one is the same thing. The major difference will be the concentration courses. It will be more on environmental politics, environmental courses. Okay, so the rest of them are all similar, but it's all about 120 credit hours. Okay. Now next one is minor. Minor in political science or public administration or sustainability is about 18 credit hours, which is about 6 courses. Okay, so it's not many, and then you can get a minor to add it to your study. Okay, and we have 7 faculty members in our program, and all of us have terminal degrees. Okay, so we are well qualified. And what skill do you have? What you developed as a political science major? Okay, so basically you can develop research and project skills, like for example, define hypotheses, gathering data, interviewing those things. Okay, so I'm not going to get into detail, but you can research skill, okay, and then analytic skills, communication skills. Okay, those are things that as a political science major you expect to develop after you finish the degree. Okay. Next, what do you do with a degree in political science, right? Okay, so now let me give, those are this information I get it from Mike Profita, and he do some research and he come up with those possible political science careers and with salaries. And of course, this is one nationwide data. So they have a range of how much this type of career will earn you, right? So for example, policy analyst, right? The average is 57,000, but depends on the area of your job is. So they might between 80,000 to 41,000. Okay. So now we have you can become a legislative assistant, public relations specialist, social media management manager. Okay, and then next one will be okay. So there are so many potential job or career opportunities as a political science major. And we are very active in terms of student organizations. And like a lot of our students, we have an honor society. They can join the honor society. And Dr. Ma, I think it is an environmental club, isn't it? Dr. Ma?
But yes, we don't have, so far we don't have the environmental club, but university, we have the green team. That's the university level. Yeah, we do have that students.
Remember Julia Downey? She said she's the president of the environmental club. I think it's a new club.
It's the green team. Green team.
Green team?
Yeah, green team.
Oh, green team. Okay, but anyway, so because by nature of our major, we are supposed to be students supposed to be active in the community, right? On campus, because of the nature of our major. So so it's quite again, I don't have many pictures here, but I managed to pull up these two pictures. Okay, next, the last one will be the contact information. If you are interested in finding out more about our program, okay, those are the contact information. You can go and look up for more information. Okay, that's it. That's my presentation. And if you have more questions or concern, you can ask us.
All righty. I did not see any questions in our chat box. Not sure if there were any on Facebook or not, but I did have some questions. If you could go back to the slide that had some of the salary ranges. Yes. I saw one with social media manager. Yes. I just want to point out to our viewers right now, there are so many ways to make money in this world. Of course, we now have e-gaming, e-sports as programs at FayState, but in particular to 10K. Of course, the 10K programs are strictly online. However, look at the salaries that you can gain with this major. This is coming straight out with your bachelor's degree. This is not even talking about the master's just yet. Yes. So I definitely wanted to point out some of those. And I wanted to ask if you all offer any internship opportunities.
Yes, actually we have Dr. Welsh, right? Kelly Welsh. She is the history professor, but because in political science is in the Department of Intelligence Study, Geospatial Science, Political Science, and History. So our department is multidisciplines, okay? And Kelly is the history professor, and she is in charge of all the internship information. So, so usually she will, if she got some internship information, she will give us and send out information for us to pass to the students. And also in political science, we have a class called internship. It's a government internship. So usually we have a student intern. A lot of them are with the city government. Okay, we have internship, and that's part of the course. And then they get a grade. Now, of course, they need to go to do the internship. They need to write a report, internship report, and they get a grade for that course. Okay, so.
Gotcha. So with the internship course, is that something they would be able to go to during that course, meaning during that class time, or is it something that they have to use their outside time to complete the course with? So do they physically come to the class for it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, it depends on the teacher. Some teacher you need to do it outside the class time, but some teacher will allow you to use the class time to do the internship too. It depends on the professor. Sometimes it's more than one professor will teach the class.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, Brooke, actually, yeah, we are send our students, we are trying to fund as much as the internship and the service learning opportunities for the students. For example, even though they will not take course, but if we do have some internship, like pay internship or non-pay internship. So we are send the students to go there, no matter if they take the course or not. Yeah, so we are really want to create a lot of opportunities for our students to have the internship and also competitive in the job market.
Yeah, but the course we have in a political science program is called government internship. So that particular course is the internships you work with the government,
Yeah.
like in the city government, county government, or even federal government, state government.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but again, you can have an internship with private sectors if you by not taking this class. Do you see what I'm saying? You have other internship opportunities too.
And see, even with that, and for my viewers or our prospective students, you do well at your internship. This could that's the goal of it, to land you a job. And it's also a huge networking opportunity. So definitely, I want everyone, if we could go back to the screen that has you all's contact information up there, that would be awesome. And I do want to thank you for tuning in with us today and taking out the time, as I said with Mr. Rodney earlier. We definitely appreciate it. With the 10K program, again, it is strictly for online. So we do want to keep emphasizing that throughout the day. But of course, if you're not looking to do the 10K program, then this is still a wonderful department. I encourage our students to look into, even if they're coming in as a transfer student, or if we have any freshmen who have just so happened to tune in with us today. And so if you have your phone, feel free to take a picture of the contact information here on the screen. Otherwise, you will be able to.
Can I add something?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like what I mentioned, that we start from this semester, we have the online degree completion option. So we have been get a lot of people who are interested in this one. Okay, so for the past half year, we have already get a lot of people that declare majors or contact us for this program, the online degree completion program.
So you guys think since COVID, this program has really expanded?
Yes, because this is new. It's just started this semester. So I mean, with COVID, it helped too, because people are doing
they want to stay home. We are really practicing social distancing with our online degree completion programs. And like I said, it is at an affordable cost. So is there anything else you all wanted to add in?
Thank you.
Dr. Mark or Dr. or Miss Shauna, did you want to add something?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you again so much. I'm actually going to go ahead and start sharing my screen.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You all have a good rest of your evening.
You too. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you. All righty. You guys heard it here first. Like I said, if you are interested in political science, I had no clue about all of these, the salaries with some of these jobs. And that's what you really want to know when you are looking into your particular major, as far as what you want to study. That is very important. And for those who are just tuning in to 10K week, this is day one. I do want to encourage you to check in through the guidebook. We want to be able to check in with us so that we can give you the survey at the end of the day. You guys can tell us what you like, what you didn't like, or what you would like to see from the Office of Admissions. Also, be sure, let me go back. Also, be sure to follow us on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. So hi, YouTube. And we also are live on Facebook. Hey, to our Facebook friends. Be sure to like our page as well. We're trying to get our followers up on YouTube. We are fairly new to it, but I know our Facebook fans are very loyal. Here is the schedule of events for the rest of the week. So on Tuesday, we will be hosting another 10K day featuring our Birth to Kindergarten non-teaching. We will also have representatives from our English department at 6:30 and our Fire and Emergency Services starting at 7 o'clock. On Wednesday, February 17th, we will be having history, and I'll be back on Wednesday. My colleague, Mr. Amrish Hawkins, will be hosting on Tuesday. So at the end of the week, you can say who did best. But teamwork makes the dream work. At 6:30 on Wednesday, we will be having the nursing department come in and join us. At 7 o'clock, we will have sociology in our interdisciplinary studies. So if you are at the community college, this is the same or equivalent to general studies. Next up on Thursday, which is our final day, we're so sad, of 10K week, it will be our intelligence studies, our psychology, and at 7 o'clock, we will have our Office of Financial Aid and Student Accounts with us to give us an overview of the breakdown of 10K. Again, I encourage you to go back to our guidebook because we did record a nice lengthy video that gives a good breakdown of the program. It is for online degree completion only, so I keep emphasizing that, but even if you do not qualify for 10K or you're not coming from one of our partner institutions, we do want you to still tune in with us this week so that you can learn more about some of our other programs that we have to offer. So what I will do is I will go ahead and get criminal justice started. If I can have y'all turn on your cameras. And we're a little early.
That's all right.
Hi, Dr. Brightman.
Hey.
Okay, I see the backgrounds. They look good. We're a little early, so I did want to also tell our viewers to be sure to drop your comments or your questions in the comment section on YouTube, as well as on our Facebook. We are monitoring it, so any questions you may have, feel free to put that in there, and we will address them at the end. So I'll actually have, is this everyone here with us today with criminal justice?
Yeah.
Perfect. So if I can have you all introduce yourselves, and I'll give you the floor.
Well, we'll have Dr. Taylor go ahead and start sharing her PowerPoint then, because we've got contact information to go along with our introductions. So.
Oh, you guys are fancy.
Yes. Hold on.
Problem.
No worries. It's technology days. You know, I was thinking the other week we were watching, they were playing the CDC or the COVID task force out of the White House on TV on Zoom. And, you know, we're just watching it and we all know how this goes these days.
Right.
we're all, you know, and then I'm sure that students understand how that goes in some of our classes sometimes too.
They do. They're very understanding.
So here we go. So we'll get started. We are from the Department of Criminal Justice at Fayetteville State University. We've got 3 faculty with us here today. I'm Dr. Brightman. I'm the chair of the department.
I'm Dr. Taylor, and I'm an assistant chair for the department.
And hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Zarisha Carhart. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Criminal Justice.
And so the first thing that we wanted to do is make sure that we put up our contact information for you. So first thing you see here is the contact for myself, Dr. Brightman, and also for Dr. Taylor. And feel free to contact us anytime after our presentations today. If you're seeing this on Facebook or if you're seeing this on YouTube, now would be a good time to jot down that information or take a picture of the screen so you can contact us. We'll also put it up at the end, but we want to make sure that you had it first. So we wanted to engage you with a little bit of fun tonight. So we're going to play some trivia. And to play trivia on Zoom, all you got to do is put your answers in the chat box.
I'm going to take over from Dr. Brightman. I'm Dr. Taylor, as I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about crime and justice, and we'll see how much you know. So let's get started. You can put your answer in the chat box once I ask the question. The first question is, what percentage of criminal cases are solved with DNA evidence?
And those of you here from admissions, come on, feel free to join us. All right, we got 80, we got 35, 65.
Okay. 65, wow. Y'all must watch a lot of NCSI or the shows are, but the actual percentage is 1%. It's actually a very small number of cases that are solved with DNA evidence. Next question, approximately how many Americans spend at least one day in jail each year?
You know, I always say I need to put the Jeopardy soundtrack on my phone.
Right. Okay. So I would say the correct response to this is 7 million. The United States actually has a really high rate of incarceration, the highest in the world. And so we tend to have a lot of people who are behind bars. Okay, next question. What percentage of criminal cases end in a trial? Is it 50%? Is it 30? Is it 90? What do you think?
We got 20, 50, 12, 30.
Interesting guesses. It's actually much lower than that. It's less than 5%. One thing that a lot of people don't realize about the criminal justice system is that most cases are pled out. That is, offenders will plead guilty to a particular crime and then, you know, deal with the consequences. Very little trials happening in the manner of, you know, Law and Order.
I was thinking that every episode of Law and Order has a trial.
Absolutely, absolutely. Next question. What is the most common form of punishment in the United States?
Fine.
That's an interesting response, actually.
Probation.
That's an interesting response too. And in fact, the correct answer is probation, right? One of the reasons why probation is the most common punishment is because despite what you might see in the news media, most crime is actually relatively minor. We're talking about misdemeanors or low-level felonies. And for those offenses, probation tends to be a standard sentence. And we use it a lot, just like we use jails and prisons in this country. So, final question. What percentage of Americans have some form of criminal history, at least an arrest?
45, 3.
That's an interesting range.
14.
Interesting. The response is 33%. About a third of all individuals have had some contact with the criminal justice system, whether it's an arrest, prosecution, imprisonment, etc. So if you were not aware of any of this information before, you are so now, which is a good thing. And you can learn more information just like this by coming to our program.
Awesome. Thanks, Dr. Taylor.
Welcome.
So I want to brag a little bit about our program. We have been ranked among the 35 most affordable bachelors for 2020. And we have been recognized also for most affordable online degree completion programs. So we get noticed for a lot of these rankings all the time. But we're really here to talk today about our degree programs on the next slide. So we do have a Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice. And what we're talking with you guys today about for the 10K program is the online degree completion that we have. So we'll get to that in just a second. We also have a minor in criminal justice. And for those of you that are thinking long-term about your degree plans, we also have a master's degree in criminal justice, which can also be done all online if you wanted to. So a little bit about our online degree completion program, which is great for students coming from community colleges, is that we are actually one of the very first online degree completion majors at FSU, which means we have more than 10 years of experience doing online degree completion. So for our faculty, having COVID and going online and everything, you know, was something that we were really able to transition to very quickly. All of our faculty have years of experience with teaching online. So with the online degree completion program, what exactly do you need to know about how to get into the program? The first thing is that you need to complete university core classes and 4 200 level CJ classes. Now the CJ part is usually pretty easy for community college transfer folks. It gets a little bit more tricky when you're talking about the university core classes, but your advisors at the community colleges you're at most likely have a pathway plan from criminal justice about exactly what courses you need to complete. So once you get to us, then you can finish your junior and senior years entirely online. All of our 300 and 400 level CJ courses are always offered online every semester, and we rotate our electives, so there's always different options for electives that you can take. We have things like criminal law, prisons and society, race, class, and gender, victimology, drugs and crime, police and society, white collar crime, comparative criminal justice. And we've got a really cool class, which is a CJ 370. And what that is that gives faculty the opportunity to design unique courses for one semester. And you can take that course up to 3 times as long as the title changes. So that's a really great way for faculty to show their kind of experience in their own research and the kinds of things that they do. So again, we gave you our contact information at the beginning, and we'll give it to you again at the end. So really feel free to reach out to us and see what kind of pathway do you need to be able to come and be entirely online at FSU. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about our department, clubs, and organizations.
All right, again, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Shakarhar, or the students call me Dr. S, just to keep it simple. I'm going to give you some information today about 2 organizations that we have in the Department of Criminal Justice. The first, if you look at the logo on the left, that's for the National Association of Blacks in Criminal Justice. I call that our Criminal Justice Club. It's open to all students, regardless of major. We actually have students from across different majors, forensic science. We have a lot of ROTC participants as well. So you don't have to be a criminal justice major to join us, okay? In the past, we've hosted a number of different events, including socials, guest speakers. We've hosted a number of Coffee with a Cop events where we've brought donuts and coffee in, and police officers to come around and they chat. We've also had conference attendance. I've had the pleasure of taking students for the past couple years to a criminal justice conference that's local here to the state of North Carolina in Raleigh. And we've had students present at the conference, and we've had students win student awards at the conference. So it's been very a good conference, and I encourage all students to be as involved as they would like. So students who are interested in going on to graduate school, for example, they really like attending conferences, so they get a feel for what that will be like. Other students who want to be practitioners will meet practitioners at the conference, but then also the events we host on campus, we tend to bring speakers in from a variety of different organizations, police officers, sheriff's departments, nonprofit organizations, social activist organizations in the community. So there's a wide variety of jobs in the CJ system, and I'll get to that in a second in a few slides here. But just to give you an idea that we are a broad organization who covers different aspects of the CJ system and tries to expose you to, all the different career opportunities related to that. In the era of COVID, we have been operating virtually. We've actually done really well at hosting virtual events, virtual guest speakers, and virtual socials. So COVID has not stopped us from continuing in our mission as a club and organization. So if you are interested in joining, even as you complete your community college education, you can shoot me an email. You can sort of hang out with us, and then when you transfer over to FSU, you can become an official member. So if you want to get involved early, I do encourage you to do that. Just reach out to me. The other organization we have in our department is Alpha Phi Sigma. That is actually the Honor Society of Criminal Justice. Dr. Taylor serves as the faculty advisor for that organization. The good thing about becoming a member as a student is it's for a lifetime membership. So if you join as a student, you're paying a much lower fee than you would as someone who was a working professional, and that gives you a lifetime membership. And it also gives you preferential or preference when you apply to government jobs. Government jobs oftentimes will ask on their their applications if you're a member of any organizations like Alpha Phi Sigma. And so that is definitely something that can help set you apart if you do hope to go into the criminal justice agencies at the federal level. And that is it for clubs. If Dr. Taylor could advance us to some of the career opportunities. So in this next slide, we have some pictures of some recent alums, okay, that have graduated from our program. Some of these students have gone on to graduate studies. Some of them have gone on to be in the actual law enforcement agencies. We've had students who work for Border Patrol. We've had people who work for probation and parole offices. We've had individuals who work for sheriff's departments, who become police officers in local agencies. So one thing a lot of students aren't necessarily aware of when they take criminal justice or they go into criminal justice, they think that they can go straight into a job in the federal government as an FBI agent, for example, or CIA agent. But actually, you'll learn that you're going to need to start at the local level. A lot of times it's very easy to get into a job in the local level and work your way up to the state or federal level. And so that's kind of one of the things we share with students right off the bat is, you want to be looking into your local organization, see what you can do to prepare you for a career in the federal government. Other routes that we also encourage our students to check out is a graduate school, law school. We've had a lot of successful students move on to law schools in North Carolina. We've had students move on to master's programs. A lot of our students who are interested in graduate school end up applying to our master's program. So that's, really wonderful experience as well. We've had students who go on to other master's programs, MBAs, any other major. It doesn't have to be criminal justice. Another avenue that we encourage our students to take is the nonprofit route. There are a lot of community organizations, all communities, not just in Fayetteville, a lot of organizations that need help and they want students who are educated, who are aware of social issues that are affecting their community and trying to find ways to help them. So we've had students in the past who have been successful at starting their own nonprofit organizations. So it's definitely something you can do, and your education at Fayetteville State prepares you for that, because we are really interested in making you aware of all the different options that are out there. Okay. Other avenues you might want to pursue, criminal victim advocates. Okay, victimology is a large segment of criminal justice research. So if you're interested in working with victims, perhaps, and not, let's say, offenders in the criminal justice system, this is a path you can look into by working as a mediator. You can work with victim services, sexual assault victims, or other types of victims. There are a lot of local agencies that do the work that we don't really see on Law and Order or NCIS or all of that. So there are tons of opportunities for you to do different things related to criminal justice that don't involve you necessarily becoming a police officer. And we hope you keep those ideas in mind when you're deciding on what you should major, and just know that you're not restricted to becoming just a police officer if you choose criminal justice as your career path. And that is all.
Thank you. So we have a few minutes now in case you guys have any questions about what you've learned about our program. And while we're still taking questions, I'll have Dr. Taylor put our contact information up, because you don't need to stare at any questions bubble. You probably want to get our information again. So we'll put that screen back up and take any questions or comments that you have at this time.
Well, while we're waiting on any questions, I don't see any just yet. I love the trivia at the beginning, which kind of sparked something in my mind. What are some other misconceptions that people may have about criminal justice?
Oh, there are so many misconceptions that people have about criminal justice. And to be honest with you, so much of our teaching really involves not only busting those kind of myths, right? That seems to be kind of what the trivia does, but really what students learn in criminal justice is how to understand where those myths come from and why we have them. And Dr. Taylor alluded to it in terms of what we think about CSI or television shows. You know, that's just one small slice of the things that impact the way that we think about and view crime and criminal justice. But there's a whole lot of politics involved in that and history involved in that. And so really, you know, it's great to think about those trivia questions and busting all those myths, which there's so many of. But the important part, I think, for our students is always to learn about, well, where do those myths come from? Why do we believe them? And what are the impacts that they have on our society, right? So think about that question about DNA and the impact that that's going to have on people that are potentially jurors in a trial, right? If you get 12 jurors who are expecting a big criminal CSI type of show where there's going to be all this DNA type of evidence, and there's not, because the thing about DNA is it has to be left at the crime scene. Right? And there are very few crimes overall that actually have the opportunity to leave behind DNA or other evidence. So now your jury is going to be disappointed with what evidence they see in front of them. And someone that might possibly be guilty based on other facts and witnesses, the jury might just be like, well, there's no DNA, so I'm not going to find them guilty. So what are the impacts? What are the problems? What are the policies that are created by these myths? And then how do these policies impact us in our daily lives? So there's so many things about your question that I could keep going on about.
I know, because I heard Dr. Shakar, who mentioned that oftentimes when people think of criminal justice or majoring in criminal justice, they only think about being a police officer. And I can admit, in high school, that was that's actually what I thought of. When I thought of criminal justice, I thought automatically, oh, you just want to be a police officer, but there's so much more. Are there any particular alum that stand out that are doing some great things now within the field?
Oh, yeah. You know, and they work in a whole bunch of different areas. So we have one graduate, actually, she was an undergrad with us, and then she got her master's degree. And she's actually working in one of those areas Dr. Shakar was talking about, that we don't often think about in terms of victim advocacy. So she's a courtroom victim advocate. I think she's in Greensboro now. She started here in Fayetteville as a courtroom victim advocate, and she moved out of town eventually. We have a student who is in the FBI, and she actually is the recruiter who usually comes back to campus for our campus recruitment events. So she comes to speak as one of our former students. And of course, if we've been watching current events happening around the country, we have a student that went, and she was a Capitol police officer. So, you know, I was very much thinking about her in the events that happened a few weeks ago on January 6th. But, you know, she went up there and she got a position with Capitol Police. And the other thing, I always see students at the airport in TSA almost every time I fly out of Fayetteville. I see students. Oh, and another one, because a lot of people don't often think about our students going to law school.
Yes, I did want you to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, our new Title IX coordinator here at FSU is one of our CJ majors. And she went on and she got her law degree, Ms. Tuttle, and now she is the lawyer that does the Title IX cases on FSU campus.
You cannot beat it. And the good thing is, for, again, our viewers right now, with the 10K program, again, is offered online, but we do set you up to look into consider getting your master's degree as well with us. So did anyone want to touch on the master's program a little bit?
I can take that, sure, because I'm actually getting ready to be, or Dr. Brightman, did you want to talk about it?
No, I was letting you because of what you were just about to say.
I am training right now to become the graduate coordinator for the next few years. Dr. McElrath has been in that role currently. And so, you know, like Dr. Brightman said, we have a highly ranked program. A lot of our students come from all different places in North Carolina. You can complete your degree completely online. In fact, most of our students, again, don't live in Fayetteville. And so we have students in all different sort of career stages in their career. We have students who are fresh out of their bachelor's degree. We have students who have worked in prisons or as police officers for several decades, and now they want to come back and get their master's degree to advance it in their career. Because for a lot of places now, as bachelors become more common, people need a master's to be able to really advance and get those salary increases in their department. So we have all sorts of students, you know, traditional age students, older students in our master's program. And so it's a really diverse program. You know, it takes 4 semesters to complete, which is roughly 2 years. And we have, you know, the faculty is awesome. Again, we all really enjoy teaching in the graduate program.
Dr. Taylor's like, yes.
And it's one of the most affordable. A lot of students who come to us, you know, from different parts of North Carolina will tell us, like, we're one of the most affordable, you know, master's program, and one of the really only few criminal justice master's program in North Carolina, actually. So that's another distinguishing feature that we have. So I encourage anybody interested in graduate school to definitely consider that path. And even if you're not a criminal justice major, if you're out there Facebook Live watching us and you decided you did your undergrad in something and now you want to change to criminal justice, we are not picky. You'll see that we accept people from any bachelor's degree, and we give you the tools to succeed. So you don't need to have that background in criminal justice to start in our program.
I'm glad you mentioned affordability too. That is a very big piece for our 10K students. Think about it. You're coming out, you're getting your associate's degree, you're coming into the 10K pathway program with under $10,000. Then, of course, the 10K does not cover the master's program, but this is just cutting the cost. We don't want you all to take out all these loans or graduate in debt. So affordability is a great point. I'm so glad you mentioned that.
One thing that I'd like to mention in terms of the master's program is we've had a couple of students in the military who've used getting a master's in our program as part of the green to gold process, where you become an officer by getting an upper level degree. So that's definitely one option that students have, at least in terms of the master's program.
I do see a question in the chat. The question is, does criminal justice program ever work with forensic science?
So there's a few criminal justice courses that are embedded in the forensic science major. But it's one of those things where, again, like some of the myths that we were talking about, students come to criminal justice and they're like, oh, I want to go into the CSI. Well, no, you really aren't going to go into CSI from being in criminal justice. So you need to go over to the forensic science side of things. So while they have some classes that help them understand where they fit into the criminal justice process, you know, we don't do a ton of overlap with them, because while, like, when they do the crime scene displays and things like that are fun, you know, it's not the same skill set that we have and are looking for in criminal justice that they need over there in forensic science. I do think that our students get a good understanding about how they use the forensic materials that they're given and where those materials come into the process. But we spend a lot of time trying to figure out what students actually want to do, because they do come to us very often with the idea that criminal justice and forensic science are the same thing. So another place we're doing a lot of myth busting and maybe sending them over someplace else until they see how much science they really have to do. Then they come back.
I may have to add that to the website. A little fact sheet up there.
They come back to us.
Right. I did want to kind of go back a little bit. I know we had just a few more minutes we're working with before we end today. But I recall one of my students, she was a part of the criminal justice program, and she joins you all's organizations. If I'm not mistaken, did criminal justice used to do the study abroad program?
We did twice. Yeah, we did.
Okay, where's the places you all went?
We went to London, 2015 and 2017 were the 2 years that we were being able to go. And I got to go on both trips.
Lucky.
Great experience. It's really the foundation of a lot of the ideas that our criminal justice system based itself off of. And so we were able to go and learn a little bit about the police officers, and compare and contrast some of the ways that we do things here in the United States to the way that they do things over there in Britain and London specifically. Many police officers don't tend to carry weapons. They're really very specialized officers that carry guns with a lot of training. And we see them more on TV now that they had some of those terrorist attacks. But if you see regular patrol officers or the officers that you would run into on a day-to-day basis, they're not armed police officers. And that's a really big lesson for us here in the United States. Thinking about the way that the court systems are organized, and much less punishment over there than we have in the US. They don't incarcerate people anywhere near. They use some terms a little bit differently than we do. Life in prison actually never is more than 20 years of a sentence. So when they sentence someone to life in prison, they sentence someone to 20 years in prison. And because of the European Union, they have no death penalty. So there's a lot of lessons that we learn about, one, looking at our own history and how we got to where we are through the government over there, but also maybe ways that we could improve our system here to reduce crime, reduce police violence, reduce punishment, incarceration, things like that as well.
Righty, it seems like we had a nice little class tonight. There were no more questions, but I did want to thank you all so much for taking out the time to join us this evening. And of course, if anyone has any additional questions that you may think of later on, again, here's the contact information right here on your screen. So make sure you just take out your phones and take a picture or jot it down on the side. But again, thank you for tuning in with us today. I'm actually going to go ahead and take over and share my screen so you all can have a wonderful evening.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
That was fun. That was fun. All righty. Hopefully no one's just tuning in. I hope you all were able to enjoy our presentations from our presenters tonight from Business and Accounting, Political Science, as well as our Criminal Justice Department. Again, I do want to encourage you all to download the guidebook if you plan on joining us for the remainder of the week. And we do hope that you are able to check in. So if you watch this on YouTube or if you watch this on the Facebook page, make sure you go back to the app to tune in. It is available on the App Store as well as in Google Play. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. I keep saying it. We're getting our followers up. Our videos will be available on YouTube. And within the guidebook, I forgot to mention that we do give a full breakdown of what the 10K program is. In a nutshell, it is for students to come out with your associate's degree with some of our partnered institutions with under $10,000. On Thursday, we will have a breakdown for financial aid. So let me just show you the remainder of the week. Here's our next scheduled events. Mr. Amrish Hawkins will be hosting tomorrow on Facebook and YouTube, as well as through our Zoom link. On Tuesday, February 16th at 6 o'clock, we have Birth to Kindergarten non-teaching. So if you are looking into opening your own daycare or working as a director through the early childhood program, definitely tune in for that. 6:30, we'll have our English department, and that will follow up with our fire and emergency services program. On Wednesday, we'll be hosting history, so I'll be tuned in again. We also have nursing, so of course our nursing program, top ranking, you don't want to miss that. It's followed by our sociology and interdisciplinary studies. That's a tongue twister. And then the last day, Thursday, February 18th, we will be having our intelligent studies program kick us off, as well as the psychology department, followed by financial aid. So if you miss any or you get an opportunity to see your program, still come back with us on Thursday with the financial aid and student accounts department so that you can get a better understanding of the cost breakdown. Or if you have any general questions about financial aid or FAFSA, period, this is a perfect time. We love this interaction that we're able to have virtually. It also gives us a great room to, for one, social distance, with giving you the opportunity to connect with professors, deans of the departments, financial aid. So this is really hard to do in person sometimes. Things can get a little crazy, but with you being able to watch us virtually is right here at your hands to ask all the questions that may go through your mind. I want to thank everyone for tuning in with us. I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to my team behind the scenes who was able to get us in those questions and help us out today. This was day one. So hopefully day two, we can still keep the energy up and going. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Did I miss any social media? In YouTube. Follow us on YouTube. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. You all have a great evening.